cat, cats. Wolf, wolves. Pig, pigs. Ant, ants. Sheep, sheep. Dog, dogs.
Very good. Now you know a lot of English animals.
Yes. Let me tell you something else about plurals. But maybe we'll just give you a list now and explain more later on.
Here is a list of words that only have a plural form. This means they need the verb in the third person plural.
Cattle, people.
Goods. There are many goods in the warehouses. Savings, winnings, belongings. These men are depositing their savings at the bank. Pictures, movies. I often go to the movies.
Glasses. Don't wear my glasses. Scissors. I cut the paper with these scissors.
Trousers. Charles has got old trousers.
On the other hand, some nouns are only singular and require the verb in the third person singular.
These nouns are only singular because they are uncountable in English, while in many other languages they are countable. Business. Business is business. Furniture. This house has got beautiful furniture.
Luggage. This is all my luggage. Information. I want only this information. News. Today's news. Hair. She has got blonde hair. Advice. She has given me some good advice.
Progress. He has made a lot of progress. Nonsense. What nonsense? What a stupid thing. Own. Own can be used after a possessive word, adjective or name to give emphasis. This is my own bike. It's my own. This is Elsie's own room. Fill in the blanks using own and the possessive words between parentheses. This is my own bicycle. This is Dad's own car. Those are their own bicycles. That's not Elsie's own bicycle.
Revision.
Something about possessive pronouns.
As you can see, there is no possessive pronoun for it.
That's right. It exists, but as a possessive adjective and not as a possessive pronoun. For example, this knife has a very sharp blade. Its blade is very sharp.
Fill in the blanks.
this new bicycle yours?
Of course it's mine. It's not my father's, it's mine. Are these yours?
Oh, no, they aren't mine. They belong to my daughter-in-law.
How and its uses.
We've learned something about how already. Would you like to know more? How and its uses. How are you? How much? How many? How old?
Yes. I remember Charles asked the farmer's wife, "How much is it?" Which means, what's the cost of the milk?
Another important point to remember:
when we ask about the nature of people and things, we usually don't say how. Instead, we use the expression what, like.
For example, I could ask, what's Jocelyn like?
Well, she's very intelligent, of course. We use how to inquire about someone's health.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How is he?
He who?
Well, Charles, for example.
Oh, Charles. I think he is fine.
And how are you?
I'm fine. But my mother isn't too well this morning. But let's go on with how. How to use how. Because our students already know all about how are you, how is he, how is she, how are they, and so on. Good morning, Jocelyn. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, William. How are you?
I'm well as well. To ask someone's age, we've already seen this. How old are you? How old are you, Jocelyn?
Later, William. But tell me, how is this film about the farms?
I've already told you I liked it a lot, except for the word cock.
Don't be silly. How can also be used to inquire about people's reactions to something. How was the film? Did you like it? By the way, at the beginning of this lesson, you heard,
I like the countryside.
It looks like a singular noun, doesn't it?
To like something or someone means to enjoy or to find pleasant. To look like something or someone means to resemble or to appear similar to. I like it there.
I like him very much.
When Charles is at home, he looks like a real English gentleman. Answer the questions. What does Charles like? He likes it there. What does Charles look like? He looks like a real English gentleman. Who do you like? I like him very much. What do they like? They like that dog. Who do they like? They like you. To take, took, taken. To bring, brought, brought. To put, put, put. To get, got, got. Bring me my coat. To draw, drew, drawn. He is drawing a picture. To teach, taught, taught. To eat, ate, eaten. To think, thought, thought. Note, to think of something.
Think of what I said before answering.
To get, got, got.
To get, got, got is a very important verb because it has many meanings.
That's right. You already know that it's used with the verb to have. I have got. Have you got?
That's right. To get equals to become, to get hot, to get warm, to get cold, to get wet.
To get hot, to get warm, to get cold, to get wet.
But get also means to bring. Will you get me my coat?
Sure, Jocelyn.
Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks using the verb to get.
It is raining and she is getting wet. Have you come to get some fresh milk for your family?
Have you got any pigs?
Do you understand these meanings of the verb to get? Because there are a lot more.
That's right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Dear Charles and Alice, last night we saw the photos of Aunt Charlotte's Christmas party for the third time. It was a wonderful party. We usually spend Christmas Eve at Aunt Charlotte's. She's a fantastic cook and she loves giving dinner parties. She prepares a huge feast and puts a present for each guest under the tree. And she doesn't forget anybody. Here we all are. This is my family. She had also invited my grandparents on my father's side. In other words, my mother's mother-in-law and father-in-law. They did not come but sent her a wonderful calendar as a present. My little brother liked it a lot. And we all really enjoyed looking at it.
The first month of the year is January. January. January is in winter. It's cold in winter. Then the second month is February. February. It's very cold in February. And there's lots of snow.
That's my father's sister with her husband. She is my mother's sister-in-law, and he is my mother and my father's brother-in-law. My little brother is their nephew. I am their niece. My brother Johnny is their nephew, too. I haven't got any cousins yet. That's my Aunt Barbara. She's my mother's sister. She's still single. She always comes and spends Christmas with us.
And the third month is March. March. Spring begins in March. Look. The fourth month is April. April. The fifth is May. May. April showers bring May flowers.
And at last the gorgeous dinner was ready. Oh, dinner's ready. Come to the table, everyone, and have a seat. I have put a place card at everybody's seat. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Well, sit down. Merry Christmas to all of you. I'm so happy you're all here. I'd like to begin with a toast. Who can that be?
Who could it be? Who's at the door?
Oh, I really don't know. Did you hear?
I heard the bell ring. Can you tell me who's at the door?
I heard the bell.
Who
too,
rang
but
the bell?
Really, I
Who
don't
is
know.
at the door? Do you know?
Oh, it's you. I'd forgotten. Well, come in. Well, that's my mother's father. He's my grandfather, Aunt Charlotte's brother-in-law. Her sister, my mother's mother, Aunt Charlotte's sister, died several years ago, and he got married again. But Aunt Charlotte doesn't like his new wife, so she never invites her, and she'd even forgotten to put a place card for him on the table.
Well, Aunt Charlotte is terrible. She has never wanted to see or invite his new wife. Charlotte loved our poor mother so much. She expected him to be in mourning forever.
The meal was absolutely delicious. After dinner, we continued looking through the calendar.
June is the 6th month of the year. During this month, the weather gets warm and summer begins. The 7th is July. The weather gets hotter and hotter. During this month, we go to the seaside. The 8th is August, when fruit ripens. And then comes September, the 9th month. There are grapes to make wine with. But sadly, autumn begins. The leaves fall. In October, the 10th month approaches.
Oh, you sound like a poet.
The 11th month is November, a very sad month. It's foggy and rainy in November. And then comes December, with Christmas and New Year's Eve. Winter begins.
And there are no 13th or 14th or 15th months. No, after the 12th it all begins again. It really was a wonderful Christmas. Your friend, Elsie.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello. The film we've just seen wasn't too difficult. I think our students have been able to understand everything.
I think so too. But do you think our conversation can become quicker and more fluent?
Yes, in fact, the semantic of a language that has an Anglo-Saxon origin and has also been absorbed by the Roman culture and has spread all over the world has great problems in it evolving in a homogeneous form. Let's not exaggerate. It's only lesson 17. It isn't unit 65.
Yes. And maybe I'll go and see Elsie's teacher to ask her how her students are getting on with this course.
You are right. Of course, when I explain the grammar rules, it's still useful to underline so that our students can understand and learn better.
That's right. But what was the film about? From a grammatical point of view, I mean.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking them, our audience, our students.
Yes. Try to guess. It's about three main subjects: the family tree, the months of the year, and the seasons of the year.
But there's one fourth topic, which is also in this list. And it is National
Holidays.
Holidays.
Why don't we make a family tree right now?
That's a good idea.
Family tree. Grandparents, grandfather, grandmother, parents, father, husband, mother, wife, children, son, brother, daughter, sister. Grandparents, grandfather, grandmother, grandchildren, grandson, granddaughter. Grandparents have grandchildren, while parents have children. They have sons and daughters. Uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, cousin. Uncles and aunts have nephews and nieces. Elsie and John are Aunt Barbara's niece and nephew. Elsie's mother is Aunt Charlotte's niece. Elsie has no cousin at the moment because Aunt Barbara is single and has no children. Son-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law.
A sister or a brother-in-law are married to somebody's sister or brother. A daughter-in-law is the wife of a woman's or a man's son.
Alice's husband is Alice's mother's son-in-law.
He is Aunt Charlotte's brother-in-law because he was married to her sister who died long ago. Aunt Barbara is an unmarried woman. She is Elsie's father's sister-in-law.
Do you think that we expressed all the degrees of parenthood and relationship?
Well, if we have forgotten any, I hope our students will forgive us.
Note the following expressions. What relation is she or he to Elsie? What is he to Elsie? What is he to you? Note, more than one genitive with apostrophe plus s is possible in a sentence. Elsie's brother's room is dirty. John's friends' books are very messy. Answer the following questions. Who is Aunt Charlotte? Aunt Charlotte is Elsie's mother's aunt.
Did Elsie's grandparents on her father's side go to the Christmas party?
No, they didn't go there. Had Aunt Charlotte invited Elsie's mother-in-law and father-in-law?
Yes, she had invited them. Who is that woman with her husband?
We want to help you. You can't remember every parental link.
Of course they can't. Do you remember what she is to Elsie's father?
You've got it. She is Elsie's father's sister, and she is married to the man who is with her.
I think you can answer now. Who is that woman with her husband?
That's Elsie's father's sister-in-law with her husband.
What are they to Elsie's mother?
They are respectively Elsie's mother's sister-in-law and brother-in-law.
What are Elsie and her two brothers to them?
They are, respectively, their niece and their nephew.
Who is she, and what relation is she to Elsie and her mother?
She is Aunt Barbara, Elsie's aunt and Elsie's mother's sister.
Who is he?
He is Elsie's mother's father. He's Elsie's grandfather.
What is he to Aunt Charlotte?
He is Aunt Charlotte's brother-in-law.
You have seen the months of the year, and they are all written with capital letters in English.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Seasons. Seasons are not usually written with capital letters.
Spring, summer, autumn or fall, winter.
British English, autumn. American English, fall. Expressions. During January, February, during March, etc. During the spring, during the winter, etc. In January, in the summer, on holiday. Festivities. Christmas Day, the 25th of December. Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas Day. New Year's Day, the 1st of January. New Year's Eve, the day before New Year's Day. Expressions. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
We have bank holidays in England too, and they're very popular and important. In fact, almost everybody goes on holiday on bank holidays in Europe. Bank holidays is our word for national holidays, because on those days the banks and offices are all closed. Do you have something similar in the US?
Well, we don't have bank holidays in the United States. We work a lot. We do have national holidays, though. The most important ones are Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, Labor Day, and President's Day. Thanksgiving is shortly before Christmas. And on Christmas, children, and adults too, receive presents.
Answer the following questions. In which season are January and February?
January and February are in winter.
When is Christmas?
Christmas is in December.
When is Christmas Eve?
It's on the 24th of December.
When is Easter?
Easter is usually in March or in April.
When does spring begin?
Spring begins in March.
The last equals the opposite of the first. The first, the eighth, the last. Last equals the one before this one. Attention, last night, not yesterday night. Last Christmas. But note, yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening. Weather, time. Weather. Time. The weather is good or fine. The weather is bad, etc.
The weather is getting better. The weather is getting worse, etc.
Fog, foggy. Rain, rainy. Clouds, cloudy. Sun, sunny. Storm, stormy.
Shower is not only this, but also a thunderstorm.
What time is it? It's time to go.
I spend time with my father. A toast. Let's make a toast to a happy new year. Irregular verbs. To begin, began, begun. To bring, brought, brought. To put, put, put. To send, sent, sent. To spend, spent, spent. To fall, fell, fallen.
To help you understand the meaning of these verbs, we're going to do an example of each of them.
To begin with, let's make a toast. Bring me my coat, please, Elsie.
Aunt Charlotte put a place card in front of each plate. Elsie sends many letters to Alice and Charles. They spend many evenings watching television. This book is going to fall. To expect plus direct object plus infinitive.
I expect him to go home immediately.
To take a seat. To have a seat. To have lunch, dinner. To be in mourning.
Take a seat, everybody. Dinner is ready.
Have a seat first, and then we will talk.
Let's have lunch. It's 1 o'clock.
She is in mourning. The old grandmother has just died.
Revision.
Did you watch the film very carefully?
Have you memorized the sentences and the rules?
It's not a joke.
Well, it's exercise time, and it's a thorough revision of what we have done this unit.
And a very long and complete exercise about the latest things you have done.
Good luck, and pay attention.
Fill in the blanks.
Last night, we saw the photos of Aunt Charlotte's Christmas party for the 3rd time. We usually spend Christmas Eve at Aunt Charlotte's. My little brother is their nephew. I am their niece. My brother John is their nephew too. April showers bring May flowers. Oh, dinner's ready. Come to the table, everyone, and have a seat. She loved our poor mother so much. She expected him to be in mourning forever.
Now something about the months and cardinal numbers.
Oh, yes. Exercises can be nice sometimes.
June is the 6th month. During this month, the weather gets warm and summer begins. There are grapes to make wine with, but sadly, autumn begins, the leaves fall. The 11th month is November, a very sad month. It's foggy and rainy in November.
Did you think that this exercise would never end?
I thought it never would. Anyway, it was something different than usual, something out of the ordinary. I hope our students didn't make too many mistakes. But do you remember the verb form of to bring? To bring, brought, brought.
Did you guess correctly? We hope so. Now a few words to enrich your vocabulary.
Meals are breakfast, lunch, tea, dinner, supper. Breakfast, lunch, tea, dinner, supper. Fruit and vegetables. Present, guest, tree, Christmas tree, to be born, to live, to die.
Prepositions used to talk about time. Before is used when an event is going to happen. During indicates a period of time. After is used when the event has already happened. Before our Christmas dinner, Aunt Charlotte was very busy in the kitchen preparing all the good food. During our Christmas dinner, Aunt Charlotte invited us to make a toast. After dinner, we continued looking through the calendar. Before class, the students wait for the arrival of the teacher. During class, not all students are very attentive and quiet. After class, all students are very lively.
That's all for now. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Dear Elsie, life for university students who live by themselves in apartments isn't that easy. But it's a very interesting and important experience. A student has to do his homework, the housework, and to manage without the comfort and understanding of his mother. I'm 22 now, and I've nearly finished college. I have no problems with men. But Caroline is younger, and she does. She's very good at mathematics, but terrible at everything else. The housework, and love affairs. On Saturday afternoon, when I came out of the bathroom, after my shower, I saw that Caroline was crying.
Why are you crying? What's happened to you? I've fallen in love with a guy who I thought loved me. But he doesn't. I've made a terrible mistake.
Well, go ahead and cry, Caroline. It'll make you feel better. Tell me, what happened?
Oh.
Don't you want to tell me?
Promise you won't tell Paul about this.
I promise, I swear.
There is a very nice guy in one of my classes. Until 2 days ago, he always sat near me during class, and afterwards, he always went to the cafeteria with me. He was very seductive. Sometimes he looked at me straight in the eyes and held my hand.
But have you ever gone out with him?
Well, to tell you the truth, I never have. But he was so sweet when he held my hand.
Why didn't you tell me anything about this before? But how did you find out he wasn't in love with you?
Well, 3 days ago, he disappeared right after our usual discussion about math at lunch. Later on, when I was walking through campus, I saw him sitting on the bench with a girl, and they were flirting with each other. The next day, I avoided him. But yesterday, when he sat near me, I gathered up all my courage, and I told him that I had seen him in the park flirting with that girl, and asked why.
And what did he say?
He was very surprised, and he said, "Well, sure, why not? She's my girlfriend. I'm in love with her." So I asked him, "But what am I to you?" Listen to the answer he gave me. He said, "You're my adorable math tutor." What? Did you think we were engaged? Have you ever had a boyfriend? That's what he said. At least he was sincere. But it was terrible. But he lost his adorable math tutor, that's for sure.
Oh, you poor kid. Have you ever had a boyfriend? Have you ever kissed a boy?
Of course. Well, not really.
You think about math too much. Well, love causes a lot of problems, doesn't it? Hi, Paul. Are you happy? Any good news about your soccer game?
Yes, very good news. When it rains, I'm really good. I'm the best. I scored the second goal. We won 2-1. I was great.
Okay, take off your raincoat and your boots. Otherwise, you'll make this room so wet and dirty.
Okay, I will. Where's Caroline? Did she leave? Isn't she here? Is she angry at me because I didn't invite her to watch the game?
Well, Elsie, men are so insensitive. They seldom understand us and why we do what we do. Lots of love, Alice.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello. We've been using the following pronouns for quite a while, and we've already talked about them, but there's something to point out. They are the indefinite pronouns.
Indefinite pronouns. Everyone, everybody, someone, somebody, anyone, anybody, no one, nobody refer to people. Everything, something, anything, nothing refer to things. Special expressions: something, anything, nothing good, nothing bad, nothing important.
Remember that as the pronouns are compounds of some, any, and no, plus one, body, and thing, they follow the same rules as some and any.
As the indefinite pronouns are singular, the verb form used is singular. Some is used in affirmative sentences. Any is used in negatives and questions. No one came to the party. Aunt Charlotte, there is someone you don't like at the door.
I want everything. Why didn't you tell me anything about this before? She's good at mathematics, but terrible at everything else.
Okay, let's do a short exercise before going on with the lesson.
Right, or okay, as you say in the United States.
But what do you say in England?
Well, let's get on with the exercise.
Put the correct indefinite pronoun. There is something wrong with my car. Someone is knocking at the door. Everything Carolyn does with guys is wrong.
Why didn't you tell me anything about this guy? Has anything bad happened to you? Nobody loves me. Poor me.
Verbs with similar meaning.
In English, there are verbs with similar meanings, but used in different situations and ways.
To do, did, done, is used to talk about a general activity or work. To make, made, made is often used to talk about construction or creation.
Do you remember the examples we saw in Unit 13? I do all these things to be happy. I do my homework. I made this dress. Here's a more complete list of the different ways of using these two verbs.
To do much. To do well. To do with. To do business. To do one's homework. To do the housework. To do one's best. To do a good turn. To do an exam.
They are doing very well. Students do the homework. Housewives do the housework. To make a suggestion, to make an effort, to make progress, to make a speech, to make love with, to make a plan, to make a mistake. Don't make such an effort. I am going to help you. He is making a very important speech.
And do is also the well-known auxiliary used to form interrogative and negative sentences. Do is so full of surprises.
Note: you use to do also in sentences when you want to avoid repetition of a verb you have already used.
For example, I have a coffee every morning, and he has a coffee too. Instead, you could say, I have a coffee every morning, and he does too. By using this formation, you avoid the repetition of the verb to have.
Fill in the blanks with the correct form of do or make. When a student is at home, what does he do?
He does his homework.
Alice doesn't have many problems with men, but Carolyn does. Elsie's mother made a cake for her birthday.
What are you doing? I haven't made any plans for my holiday.
Another pair of these verbs is to say, said, said, and to tell, told. First of all, to tell is followed by the indirect object, whereas to say isn't.
To tell, told, and to say, said.
He told me that he was tired. He said that he was tired.
Tell is used in special expressions where the indirect object is understood. To tell a lie, the truth, a story. She told everybody a lot of lies when she was a child. Other uses of to say and to tell. Say is more common with direct speech.
He said, I'm going to London tomorrow. You are a liar, John, Mummy said.
Tell can also be used in direct speech with commands, pieces of information, etc.
Alice told Caroline, don't listen to that guy anymore. Alice told Elsie in her letter, I am 22 years old now, and I have nearly finished college.
Fill in the blanks with the correct form of say or tell. Carolyn told Alice, promise you won't tell Paul about this.
She told him that she had seen him in the park flirting with that girl. He said, you're my adorable maths tutor. You should never tell lies.
With perfect tenses in active sentences, always use the auxiliary to have. Here are some examples. He has finished his job. They have gone to Paris.
They are gone to Paris. Wrong. But they have gone to Paris. Right. Remember, in active sentences, the auxiliary used with perfect tenses is always to have. They have just come out from school, so they are very tired. the right verb forms.
I had just come out of the bathroom after my shower, and I saw that Carolyn was crying. Why are you crying? What has happened to you? I have fallen in love with a guy who I thought loved me, but he doesn't. But have you ever gone out with him? Well, to tell the truth, I have never gone out with him. Well, he had just disappeared after our usual discussion about maths at lunch.
Present and past continuous, or present and past progressive.
Now we are going to emphasize some concepts about present and past continuous, also called present and past progressive. Because these verb tenses indicate actions that are going on. That is to say, actions that are progressing.
That's right. Let's have a look at some of them now. I am doing. You are working. He, she, or it is eating. We, you, or they are going.
Remember that the present continuous is used to talk about events happening at or around the time of speaking, but it can also be used to talk about arranged future events. She isn't going to the cinema tonight.
Next week, we are going to London.
Now, let's look at the past continuous.
Past continuous. I was doing. You were working. He, she, or it was eating. We, you, or they were going.
The past continuous is often used in a sentence with the past simple tense. It refers to an action that was already in progress when the second action, that is in the past simple, happened. When Alice entered the room, she saw that Carolyn was crying. Fill in the blanks.
On Saturday afternoon, I saw that Carolyn was crying. Why are you crying? What's happened to you? Paul doesn't understand why his sister is crying.
Is Carolyn giving math lessons to her students today? Next weekend, the students are going back home.
Revision.
Interrogative form with the auxiliaries do, does, did.
Dear students, now I think you know and understand everything about the interrogatives and how they are joined by the auxiliary do.
I think they understand that quite clearly. Do and did function as auxiliary verbs and the main verb in the infinitive without to.
But can you use do, did also to make questions with the verb to do?
I hope you answered correctly. Let's look at some examples here. How do you do? Here, do is used as an auxiliary, and this do is the verb. Did you do your homework? Did is used as an auxiliary, and do is the verb.
Fill in the blanks.
Do you want to tell me? But how did you find out that he wasn't in love with you?
But where's Carolyn? Did she leave? Why isn't she here? Is she angry at me because I didn't invite her to watch the game?
And since we are talking about love affairs, note these verbs and sentences. From the irregular verb to fall, fell, fallen, an idiomatic expression, to fall in love.
What was the sentence in the film? Ah, here it is.
I've fallen in love with a guy who I thought loved me, but he doesn't. To be in love with. To have a date with. Meaning to have an appointment.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancé. To flirt with someone. To be engaged to someone. To marry, to divorce. Wedding or marriage. To take, took, taken. To take off, took off, taken off.
Okay, take off your raincoat and your boots. Otherwise you'll get this room wet and dirty. To look equals to see equals to appear. To look at. He was very seductive. Sometimes he looked at me straight in the eyes and held my hand. To find, found, found. To find out, found out, found out. But how did you find out that he wasn't in love with you?
To lose, lost, lost. To win, won, won. To swear, swore, sworn.
Note these uses of the verb to happen. I happen to be here. What's happening? The accident happened while I was going to work.
The accident happened while I was going out to work. British English, to be angry with. American English, to be angry at. Maths, math. Maths tutor, math tutor. Is she angry at me because I didn't invite her to watch the game? To be good at something, or bad at something, or terrible at something, etc.
She's very good at mathematics, but terrible at everything else. Housework and love affairs. To gather up. I gathered up my courage. He gathered up his forces and went on.
Class time, lesson time, during class. She always chats during class. To score a goal. I scored the second goal. We won 2-1. I was great. Noun, discussion. Verb, to discuss. Raincoat, boots.
Are there many things you haven't understood? Hopefully not. In this lesson, there has been mostly the review of rules and subjects already explained before, so you should know them quite well by now.
That's right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Dear Charles, I know you have a bike and that you are very fond of riding it. You live in a quiet neighborhood in a small town, while we live in a busy city, not far from the center. Oh, there is a lot of traffic in Pomid. The school isn't very far away. We usually go to school on foot. But to go anywhere else, it's better to take the car because it's much quicker, and everybody's got a car. Mom, your car isn't smaller than Dad's, but his car is in much better condition than yours. Neither of them are big cars because in the city a smaller car is more convenient. It doesn't matter if your car is dirtier than Dad's. But you're a worse driver than Dad. He says he drives his car better than anybody else, that he's the best driver. Do you agree with him?
Not my dear. I drive perfectly.
Oh, Dad says you're the worst driver in the country. I think he's exaggerating.
Oh, stop it, Elsie. Stop it.
Oh, Dad's car is fancier than Mom's. It's certainly cleaner and more comfortable. Do you think it's the best, the tidiest, the most beautiful car in the world, as he says it is? But Mom's car is okay. There are slower, dirtier, messier, and, well, worse cars than Mom's car, of course. Well, Charles, in my opinion, a car is nothing but a car, just a means of transport. This is our backyard where we park our cars. We're lucky to always have a parking space. And then there's Aunt Charlotte's car. It's in very good condition, but it's the oldest of all our cars. Elsie?
I'm the oldest person in the family, and of course I've got the oldest car. You're the eldest child in your family, and you haven't got a car yet. You're still too young to have one. I'm very proud of my old car. It was a present from my beloved husband. When I was younger, I pushed the accelerator to the floor and drove as fast as possible.
She doesn't drive fast anymore. She says it's the most comfortable car, but I don't really believe it.
In my family, all of the women drive very well. I do, your mother does, your grandmother, my poor elder sister did. She was a very good driver, too.
I haven't got my driving license yet. I'm still too young.
Don't worry, I can teach you to drive. You already drive better than your mother does.
Oh, we have a lot of fun when we're together in her car.
You don't want to pay a huge fine for driving without a license. I certainly don't want to pay for it. Watch out for the police. If they stop you...
Oh, that's not a problem. I can pay for it.
Well, she always pays the fine, but Dad doesn't know about it. He mustn't find out. It's better not to think about it. Your friend, Elsie.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
You know, I think driving a car in town is really difficult, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the traffic is bad in Pomade, but I think it's bad in London, and even worse in New York. It's very difficult to find parking anywhere.
Elsie's parents are very lucky to be able to park their cars in the back garden, or in the backyard, as you say in the United States.
Well, usually it's not too difficult to find parking in the suburbs of a big town, but it's very difficult to find any in the center of a city.
I don't know that much about Pommead, but I do know that during the rush hour in London, it's nearly always impossible to drive, and taking the underground, or the subway, as you say, is a much better idea. But what has traffic got to do with our lesson?
Well, nothing really. It was just a remark. Our lesson today is about comparatives and superlatives. And there are so many of them in a short film that we've just seen. Right there.
Comparative and superlative.
Okay, the comparative and the superlative. First of all, note that the comparative is used to compare two separate things or people. This man is older than this man. This man is younger than this man.
Aunt Charlotte is older than Elsie.
Elsie is younger than Aunt Charlotte.
The superlative compares one member of a group with the whole group. He is the oldest. She is the youngest. How to form comparatives and superlatives. Adjectives of one syllable. Comparative, adjective plus ER. Superlative, the plus adjective plus EST. Adjective, small. Comparative, smaller. Fast, faster. Adjective, small. Superlative, the smallest. Fast, the fastest. This building is taller than that one. This is the tallest building.
Notice that you must add the definite article the before the superlative form.
Adjectives of two syllables ending in Y. Note, Y becomes I. Comparative, adjective plus ER. Superlative, the plus adjective plus EST. Happy, happier. Funny, funnier. Happy, the happiest. Funny, the funniest. Elsie is happier than her brother. Aunt Charlotte is the happiest of the family. Other adjectives of two or more syllables. Comparative, more plus adjective. Superlative, the most plus adjective. Interesting, more interesting. Beautiful, more beautiful. Interesting, the most interesting. Beautiful, the most beautiful. This book is more interesting than that.
This is the most interesting book I have ever read.
Some two-syllable adjectives can take either type of comparative or superlative. The adjectives are stupid, handsome, polite, quiet, pleasant, rich, cruel, tired, common, etc. Adjectives ending in OW, ER, LE. Stupid, stupider, or more stupid. Narrow, narrower, or more narrow. Gentle, gentler, or more gentle. Superlative, the stupidest, the most stupid, the narrowest, or the most narrow. The gentlest, or the most gentle.
She is more stupid than he is, or she is stupider than he is.
They are the most gentle people I have ever met, or they are the gentlest people I have ever met. Spelling rules.
Spelling rules. Most adjectives ending in a consonant preceded by one vowel double the consonant. Fat plus T plus ER, fatter. Fat plus T plus EST, the fattest.
Note the spelling of adjectives ending with E. Adjective plus R. Adjective plus ST.
Note the spelling of adjectives ending with E. Simple adds R only. Simpler. Simple, for the superlative, adds only ST, the simplest. Large, again, adds only R for the comparative, larger, and large, for the superlative, adds only ST, the largest.
Irregular comparatives and superlatives.
But there is something else. A few adjectives have an irregular comparative and superlative, and here's the list.
Comparative, good, better. Bad, worse. Far, farther. Old, older, elder. Elder, only used before son, daughter, sister, brother, etc. Superlative, good, the best, bad, the worst. Far, the farthest. Old, the oldest, the eldest. The eldest is only used before son, daughter, sister, brother, etc. Little, less. Much, many, more. Little, the least. Much, many, the most. Than is used after the comparative adjectives and adverbs. Elsie is older than John.
Charles is shorter than his friend Anthony.
Elsie speaks English more fluently than her brother John. Personal pronoun following than. When a personal pronoun follows than, we can use either a subject pronoun, formal, or an object pronoun, informal. He is taller than I am. Subject pronoun, formal. He is taller than me. Object pronoun, informal. Note, the subject pronoun is often followed by the verb to be, or the auxiliary. The object form can't be followed by a verb. She has more books than he has. But, she has more books than him has, wrong. Comparison of nouns. To compare nouns, the following structure is used. More plus noun plus than plus noun. More bicycles than cars. More water than milk. There are more cars than bicycles in the streets of a big city.
I drink more water than milk.
Something more about the superlative. Pay attention. As pointed out before, remember that the superlative is always preceded by the. Example, you're the best. She's the youngest.
We can use in after the superlative to indicate the group. It's the most beautiful place in the world. Of can also be used, but only after superlative without a noun.
He's the smartest of the group.
In English, we use very before the adjective to intensify its meaning.
She is a very beautiful girl. Oh, he is very handsome.
But remember that we can't use very with comparative adjectives. We use much or far instead. Elsie is far more intelligent than her best schoolmate.
Elsie is much younger than her teacher.
Does it seem like too much? Do these exercises and you'll see that you understand everything.
Answer the following questions by comparing the two terms. How is the traffic in the city?
The traffic in the city is worse than in the country.
What is this car like?
This car is quicker than the other one.
What is this car like?
This car is smaller than the other one. What condition is Dad's car in? Dad's car is in better condition than Mum's car.
What is this car like?
This car is bigger than the other one.
How convenient is a small car in town?
In town, a small car is more convenient than a big one.
I think our students also need to do an exercise with superlatives.
Of course. The more you practice, the better you learn.
Complete the questions using the given adjectives in the superlative form.
Who is the oldest? Who is the tallest? Which is the dirtiest? Who is the best at mathematics? Who is the youngest? Who is the worst at geography?
There are still a few important things to learn about comparatives and superlatives.
Comparison of minority. To express that one thing is less than another. Less is used with adjectives, singular, uncountable nouns, and after verbs. Fewer is used with countable plural nouns. John is less clever than Elsie.
In this room, there are fewer books than in mine.
When we say that two things are the same, we use as, with adjectives and adverbs. As much as, with nouns. As many as, with nouns. Moira is as clever as Alice.
In this jar, there isn't as much sugar as in the other one. In my room, there are as many books as in his.
Double comparatives are used to indicate change in progress. The form is the comparative plus and plus the comparative.
Moira, you are getting prettier and prettier. Elsie is getting more and more intelligent.
Notice this form. The more you practice, the better it is. The more, meaning the more quantity, for example, the more you study or practice, the better it is, the better you get.
The more they work, the more they earn.
Fill in the blanks.
Oh, Dad says you're the worst driver in the country. You're a very bad driver. Oh, there are slower, dirtier, messier, and worse cars than Mom's car, of course. Aunt Charlotte's car is in very good condition, but it is the oldest of all our cars. When I was younger, I pushed the accelerator to the floor and drove at top speed as fast as possible. She says it's the most comfortable car, but I don't really believe it. In my family, all of the women drive very well. Your grandmother, my poor elder or older sister did. Revision.
What do you do when you want to avoid repeating a verb? You use an auxiliary. Do, for example.
In my family, all the women drive well. I do, your mother does, your grandmother, and my poor elder sister did. You already drive better than your mother does.
Adverbs.
There are many adjectives that can be made into adverbs by adding ly. Example, certainly, really, and stupidly.
Note that not all the words that end in ly are adverbs. Examples, friendly, lovely, ugly, deadly are adjectives. They cannot be used as adverbs. A lovely day. Her voice is lovely. Other words can be adjectives and adverbs at the same time. Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. My daily work. Adjective.
I do this daily.
Now our usual miscellany to point out the new expressions and words to you.
Of course, some of them are not exactly new, because you've seen them somewhere in the previous lessons. But this will help you to learn better and better.
Adjectives. Old, new, fast, quick, slow, short, tall. Little equals small. Gary is a little child. Beautiful, ugly, heavy, light, dirty, clean, heavy traffic, light traffic. On foot, by car, by bicycle, by bus, by train, by ship, etc. To drive, drove, driven. To ride, rode, ridden. To drive a car. To drive a bus. To ride a bicycle. To ride a horse.
To be fond of plus verb in the ing form equals to like someone or something.
I'm very fond of driving, or I like driving very much. British English, driving license.
American English, driver's license.
British English, front garden, back garden.
American English, front yard, back yard. Police, policeman. To pay a bill. To pay someone for something.
Oh, that's not a problem. I can pay for it. Fine. You don't want to pay a huge fine for driving without a license. To watch out for. To be careful. To pay attention to. Watch out for the police if they stop you.
How is the traffic in the city where you live, Jocelyn?
Well, it's pretty heavy.
Well, is it heavier in your city or in my city?
Well, I think London traffic is heavier than New York's.
Are you sure? And are there more people in London than in New York? Or more people in New York than in London?
Well, I'll check and tell you later. But why all these comparisons?
Well, we're talking about comparatives.
Well, that's all for today.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Forgive me if I pour out my heart to you. Well, here I am, riding my bike around town with my best friend, Anthony. Brighton isn't a big city, but at certain hours of the day the traffic is heavy everywhere. We're in the heart of the glorious county of Sussex. It's a 2-hour drive from London.
Don't worry about it. I'll stay here and wait for you. I don't smoke a pipe. You know I don't like it. It's a bad habit, isn't it?
Yes, in a certain way it is. But I like it. I like smoking my pipe, and cigarettes too. But I don't smoke the pipe when I'm with you, do I?
What a wonderful new pipe.
Yeah, it was carved by one of our best craftsmen in Sussex.
It's beautifully carved. It's a really fantastic piece of work.
No thanks, we're just looking.
Aren't those trousers great?
Yes, they certainly are. I need a new pair for horse riding in the country. The old ones I've got now are in terrible shape.
And what about the boots? Aren't they superbly shaped? I like that style.
Oh yes, they're truly the nicest boots that I've ever seen. I bet they were made by one of the best boot makers.
Well, I've got to go. I'm in a hurry.
Ready?
Yes, it's so late.
When shall we meet next? What about Wednesday?
Oh, you know it's impossible for me on Wednesdays and Fridays. I have tennis lessons. Today is Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday.
Oh, no. On Tuesday I'm busy.
Oh, I'm very busy too. On Tuesday, my girlfriend is free in the afternoon, so we spend time together. She comes here just to see me, so I can't disappoint her.
Who did these interesting drawings in your notebook?
My girlfriend, of course. What about Thursday?
I'm going to a job interview on Thursday afternoon. You know that. What about Saturday?
Oh no, the weekend is my time to spend with the family. I take Mum shopping. And to have tea. I spend Sundays with my girlfriend at her cottage in Yorkshire. We have a great time horse riding together. Yorkshire is the country where my family comes from.
Have you got any time for me on Sunday night?
You're asking too much. On Sunday night I drive Polly back to Yorkshire.
You are a traitor, aren't you?
Oh no, I'm in love, that's all.
I've been badly betrayed by my best friend, and this is terribly shocking to me. I feel so lonely. This letter has been written at bedtime, as you can imagine. Write me a nice letter, please, Elsie. I need to be understood and comforted by you, dear pen friend. Please write to me soon. That's all for now. Cheerio, Charles.
Hello again.
Hello. Today we are going to talk about question tags. A question tag is a way to ask for confirmation of something we are not sure of. Really, it is like a reply to a question, isn't it?
Question tags. Tag, auxiliary verb plus personal pronoun. A tag is formed by an auxiliary verb plus personal pronoun at the end of a sentence. The sentence which comes before the question tag is affirmative or negative, but not a question.
You are well, aren't you? Aren't you is the question tag.
You are well, aren't you?
When the sentence is affirmative, you can come on Monday, the question tag is usually negative. Can't you? But when the sentence is negative, Charles didn't go to London, the question tag is usually affirmative. Did he?
Note, if the main clause has an auxiliary verb, even a modal, the question tag has the same auxiliary. If the main clause doesn't have an auxiliary verb, do, does, did are used in the question tag.
Let's look at an example. He works a lot. This sentence is affirmative. So, what is the question tag? It's negative. Comma. Doesn't he? He works a lot, doesn't he?
But I don't smoke the pipe when I'm with you, do I?
When I am with you, I cannot smoke my pipe. This sentence is in the negative, so the question tag is positive. Notice too that the auxiliary is the verb can. I cannot, so the question tag is also can. Can I? In the next example, the auxiliary is to be.
You are a traitor, aren't you? End the sentence with the appropriate question tag. I don't smoke the pipe when I am with you, do I? Those trousers are great, aren't they? I have got to go, haven't I? She comes just to see me, so I can't disappoint her, can I? Oh, you know it's impossible for me on Wednesdays and Fridays, don't you? Nouns in groups.
When nouns come together in a sentence, there are three main structures to express them. But it's not easy to choose the right construction.
The first structure uses the genitive s, or possessive s, with people, animals, and time expressions.
My father's car. Today's paper. The dog's food.
The second is the use of a noun as an adjective in the attributive position, that is, one noun before another.
The car keys. A shoe collection.
Sometimes the nouns are separated. Sometimes they are connected by a hyphen. And sometimes they become one word.
Weekend. The end of the week. The bookcase.
When the first noun is in the plural, it has no s, as it is used as an adjective.
A flower vase.
In the third form, a preposition comes between the two nouns.
A vase of flowers. Two men from America. Two American men.
Expressions of time, size, distance, etc. Note: in expressions of measurement beginning with a number, the noun as adjective structure is also used. This noun is always singular. A 20-mile trip. A 10-minute rest, or a 10 minutes rest. In these expressions, there is usually a hyphen between the two terms. Change the construction of the sentences using compound nouns, putting them in correct form. This is Alice's collection of stuffed animals. This is Alice's stuffed animal collection. We have just had our ride of 2 hours by bike. We have just had our 2-hour bike ride. Brighton is a drive of 2 hours from London.
Brighton is a 2-hour drive from London.
We like riding horses. We like horse riding. On Thursday afternoon, I am going to an interview to find a new job. I am going to a job interview on Thursday afternoon. Answer the following questions using the given key words. How long is the flight from San Francisco to Los Angeles? It's a 1-hour flight. How long is the flight from New York to Los Angeles? It's a 5-hour flight.
How much is this note worth?
It's a 5-pound note.
Note the difference between these two expressions.
The days of the week and weekdays.
The days of the week are all the 7 days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The weekdays are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
They are always written with capital letters.
Last week, this week, next week.
Note these expressions too. On Monday, every Monday, or on Mondays.
On Tuesday morning, they went to school.
On Thursday night, we left by train. Attention! Last Monday. Monday of the preceding week. Next Tuesday. Tuesday of the following week.
Today is Monday, and I want to see you tomorrow. That's Tuesday. So I should say, see you on Tuesday, or see you Tuesday, but not see you next Tuesday, which will be next week.
Note the following expressions. The last Monday of the month. The next event of the season. Answer the following questions.
When does Anthony have tennis lessons? Anthony has tennis lessons on Wednesdays and Fridays. What day of the week do Charles and Anthony meet in the film? They meet on Monday. And what day is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tuesday. When is Anthony busy? He is busy on Tuesday. And what about Thursday? On Thursday afternoon, Charles is going to a job interview. Has Anthony got any time for Charles on Sunday night? No, he hasn't, because on Sunday night he drives Polly back home.
Need and to need.
Now we are walking on very slippery ground. Do you remember when we talked about can? We said that it's a modal auxiliary with the following characteristics. It has no S on the third person singular. There are no infinitives or participles. Questions and negatives are formed without do, and the verb is followed by the infinitive without to. This is for can and for all modals.
The most common use of need as a modal auxiliary is in the negative form.
The construction is the following.
Needn't plus infinitive without to, or needn't plus perfect infinitive, needn't have eaten, or needn't have done, etc. Note, needn't plus infinitive when there is no obligation to do a thing. Needn't plus perfect infinitive, this means that the thing that has been done wasn't necessary. He needn't smoke the pipe if he doesn't want to. This means that there is no obligation to do a thing. He needn't have done this. It proved to be useless. Means that the thing that has been done wasn't necessary.
To need, when used as an ordinary verb, behaves like an ordinary verb and takes the auxiliary do, did. It means to have the necessity of something and is very commonly used.
Do you need any help?
Oh, yes. Don't you see? I need some help.
If you want to write an example, you need to erase the board.
I know, but I need an eraser to clean it.
Well, I need to go get you one then.
Use need in all sentences and fill in the blanks, using either the modal or the ordinary form.
You needn't buy tea. We already have plenty of tea in the cupboard.
I needed a new pair for horse riding because the old ones were in bad shape. You needn't worry about it. I'll stay here and wait for you. You needn't have made this cake. I had already made one. No, I don't need a new pair of trousers.
I know you needed new shoes. These were in such bad shape.
Note: to need plus verb in the ing form is used in a passive sense. This pair of boots needs repairing. Or, this pair of boots needs to be repaired.
Revision. Imperative.
The second persons of the imperative in English are formed by the infinitive without to.
To go.
Go.
To give.
Give.
To finish.
Finish. Fill in the blanks.
Give it to me. No, not now. Do your homework first. Look, I haven't got many letters from Elsie and Charles. Finish your lesson first and then read it. Try to be polite.
What comes next is an exercise concerning comparatives and superlatives of adjectives.
Give the 3 grades of comparison of the following adjectives. Even best friends are traitors. Good, better, the best.
These are your oldest shoes. The oldest are old, older, or elder, the oldest, or the eldest.
Oh, they are truly the nicest boots. Nice, nicer, the nicest. Who did these interesting drawings in your notebook? Interesting, more interesting, the most interesting. Fill in the blanks. Elsie is happier than her brother.
Aunt Charlotte is the happiest of the family. She is the stupidest of the class, or she is the most stupid of the class. Charles is gentler than Anthony, or Charles is more gentle than Anthony. This is the worst car I have ever had in my life. Carolyn is getting more and more studious, but messier and messier.
To pour out the heart, to confess. I pour the wine for you. Forgive me if I pour out my heart to you. Synonyms: to disappoint, to deceive. Even best friends can disappoint and deceive. Expressions with to be early, late, to be in a hurry. He is always so late when we have an appointment. You are too early. I was not expecting you yet. Alice is walking very quickly. She is in a hurry because she is late. To be in good shape, to be in superb shape, to be in bad shape, to be in terrible shape. My trousers are in a terrible shape.
To worry about something. Mum always worries about everything.
To worry about something. Don't worry about it. To like plus verb in the ing form, or plus infinitive. I like smoking, or to smoke, my pipe and my cigarettes too. She likes painting, or to paint in the open air.
To carve. Craftsman. Artist.
This pipe has been beautifully carved by a skilled craftsman.
She is a real artist. To wait for someone. I'll stay here and wait for you. Traitor. To betray.
Even best friends can be traitors. Don't betray me, Anthony. You are my best friend. Heavy traffic. Light traffic. On weekdays, at rush hour, the traffic is very heavy in town. Early on Sunday morning, the traffic is very light in town.
It's true. Weekdays are always so busy, and the traffic is so heavy at rush hour, there is no time to see friends sometimes. Is it the same with you, Jocelyn?
Well, of course. On weekdays, I'm always in a hurry.
Anyway, this is over, you see. We must be quick in saying goodbye, everybody, or they'll cut us off.
Oh, really?
Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Dear Charles, you like horse riding and horse racing, and I like swimming. To be honest, I'm not very fond of this sport, but I also compete, so I have to train every day. Our coach Dino, who's a very nice young man, always arrives late because he lives very far away and comes in by train.
Girls, excuse me, the train I took this morning,
Was terribly late. He's the one we go to when we've finished a part of the training and have to begin a new exercise.
Backstroke for 20 laps. Come on, then you can take a break. Go.
This is more or less what I do every day during my training. I like it there. We're all friends. We're always getting all our things all mixed up. Bathrobes, bags, glasses, and slippers. So sometimes I don't know which is my bathrobe and which are theirs. Oh no, mine is the red one.
Elsie! Could you lend me a stopwatch for a minute, please?
I gave it to somebody. I don't remember who.
Didn't you lend it to Janice, the girl whose brother is doing the freestyle right now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so tired that I can't remember anything these days. Not even my own name.
Poor Elsie, always so busy. Now, get back into the water and start swimming. Try a few laps with the flippers.
Look here. See, these are the flippers which I can't swim with. They hurt my feet. I've got to change them.
This is what happens to girls who don't listen to what the coach says. I'm sure you bought them at that shop where I told you not to go. Come on, quickly. Let's start again. The backstroke for another 15 laps.
How fast?
It doesn't matter. The important thing is very careful strokes. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All I want is precision.
That's a nice bracelet. I've never seen you wear it before. What's it made of? Gold? Who gave it to you?
No, it isn't gold. It's just brass. I got it from a girl who isn't here now. She doesn't swim anymore. She left last week. The girl who I was talking to last Friday when I was so angry, Terry.
Oh, so Terry's the girl you were arguing with so furiously. That's what she was telling you, that she was leaving. It's your fault that she left. You expect too much, and sometimes you're depressing too.
Why are you preaching at me? The girl I like the best is always the one who's preaching at me, the one who criticizes me so harshly.
A coach wants to give advice. He doesn't want to receive it. Your friend, Elsie.
Hi, welcome back. Here I am again. I'm not going to explain to you the grammar this time with Jocelyn, but with the other co-presenter, who will accompany us from this unit, which is Unit 21, up to Unit 39. Her name, as you know, is Aileen.
Aileen and William, from Unit 21 to Unit 39.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Aileen. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Let's start quickly. There are still so many important topics to discuss.
There are still many more important topics to discuss. Let's start quickly.
As you know, Aileen is British, like Jocelyn, so we have the same balance as an American teacher with a British teacher. She is going to speak a bit more quickly than Jocelyn because we are at Unit 21 and you understand English better, of course. So, Aileen, it's up to you.
Thank you. I'm eager to start. But are you quite sure that our students will understand the way I speak?
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Adverbs to intensify adjectives.
There are different adverbs to intensify an adjective.
Fairly equals just enough. Quite equals sufficiently. Rather equals more than enough. Pretty, informal. Very equals excellent. Really informal. Fairly big, quite big, rather big, or pretty big, informal. Very big, really big, informal. Relative pronouns.
Today's lesson is mainly about relative pronouns. We have seen them here and there, but now it's time to learn the rules.
Pronoun, who, function, subject, object. Whom, object. Which, subject, object. That, subject, object. Whose, possessive. What? Pronoun, who, used for, with, people. Whom, people. Which, people, things, animals. That, people, things, animals. Whose, people, things, animals. What?
But before going through each of them, please note that
in English, there are identifying and non-identifying relative clauses. Identifying clauses are necessary to the meaning of a sentence. Non-identifying clauses give extra information not necessary to the meaning of the sentence. Who and which can be used both in identifying and non-identifying sentences. That can be used only in identifying sentences.
here are some examples for you. First of all, an identifying clause.
The boy who is with me is my brother.
Now an example of a non-identifying clause.
John, who is my brother, is 17 years old.
Look at this example. The boy is my brother. Do you think it's possible to know which boy I'm talking about?
No, of course not. But Elsie says, the boy who is with me is my brother. In this way, we have identified the boy.
That's right. This is a very important introduction. And now we can better explain the relative pronouns to you. And this is why
in an identifying relative clause, the relative pronoun is left out when it functions as an object, both direct or indirect object. The boy who, or that, I saw yesterday was Elsie's brother. Or, the boy I saw yesterday was Elsie's brother.
When the relative pronoun functions as a subject, it's different, of course. You couldn't leave out the who if it were a subject. Now here's an easy example for you. The boy is my brother. The boy who is with me is my brother. This is an identifying clause, but who is the subject of the sentence, so you cannot leave it out.
Identifying clauses are not separated from the noun by commas. Non-identifying clauses are separated by commas.
The boy who is with me is my brother. John, who is my brother, is 17 years old.
Now let's look at another identifying clause. These are the best students whom I've ever had. Nowadays, whom is not so commonly used. We say, these are the best students I've ever had.
That's right. Now some remarks and more information about how to use these pronouns.
Who refers to people. It functions as subject or object of a verb or of a preposition. When who functions as an object, in identifying clauses, it replaces whom, and in this case, it can be left out.
My coach, who is a very handsome guy, is always surrounded by girls.
Just a sentence to see if you've understood well. Look at this. My coach, who is a very handsome guy, is always surrounded by girls. Is the sentence beginning with the pronoun who an identifying clause?
No, it isn't. You could say, my coach is always surrounded by girls. Here, we can erase who is a very handsome guy and say, my coach is always surrounded by girls. The sense of the sentence is still complete.
Now, look at the sentence that's coming next. It can go in two ways.
He's the one who we go to when we've finished a part of the training. He is the one we go to when we've finished a part of the training.
In the second version, who is left out because this is an identifying clause and who is not the subject of the sentence. Whom refers to people. It functions as an object of a verb or a preposition. It is seldom used in conversational English. In identifying clauses, whom is generally left out or replaced by who or that. When it is left out, the preposition goes at the end of the clause.
I think you should pay attention to the coach with whom you are working.
There are two more possibilities of expressing this sentence. I think you should pay attention to the coach who you are working with. Or, I think you should pay attention to the coach you are working with.
Which refers to things. It functions as subject or object of a verb or of a preposition. When it functions as an object, which can be left out.
The train, which is entering the station, is late. The book, which I put on the desk, is missing. Or, the book I put on the desk is missing. The sentence to which I'm referring was in Unit 2. Or, the sentence I'm referring to was in Unit 2.
That. That, as a relative pronoun, only refers to the subject or direct object of a verb, is a defining relative pronoun, which means that it identifies the noun.
The question that you want to ask Dino is very important. Or, the question you want to ask Dino is very important. My coach, who is a young man, trains us very well.
Now this sentence can be divided into two separate sentences. My coach trains us very well, and he is a young man.
Whose is a relative possessive word which can function as a subject or object and can be used in both identifying or non-identifying clauses. Whose is never left out. She gave her stopwatch to Janice, the girl whose brother was doing the crawl.
The girl whose brother you know is called Elsie.
Note the following. What? All that. What I prefer is not in this book.
All that I want is to be left in peace.
Fill in the blanks using the correct relative pronouns.
Our coach Dino, who is a nice young man, always arrives late.
Oh, girls, excuse me. The train that I took this morning was late.
He is the one we go to when we have finished a part of the training and have to begin a new exercise. This is more or less what I do every day during my training. We're always getting all our things so mixed up. Sometimes I don't know which is my bathrobe and which are theirs. Oh, I gave it to somebody, but I don't remember who or to whom.
Didn't you give it to Janice, the girl whose brother is doing the crawl right now?
You see, these are the flippers which I can't swim with. They hurt my feet.
This is what happens to athletes who don't listen to what their coach says. All that, or what I want, is peace.
You could also say, all I want is peace.
Before going on with the exercises, note the following examples.
Phil, who is a good athlete, trains every day. Phil and Mary, who are good athletes, train every day.
Now go on with the exercise.
I got it from a girl who isn't here now. The girl I was talking to last Friday.
Oh, Terry's the girl who you were arguing with so furiously. That's what she was telling you, that she was leaving.
The girl I like the best is the one who is always preaching at me, the one who criticizes me so harshly. Conjunction, that. That, as a conjunction, is often left out. It is used as an introduction to reported speech or after some adjectives, and it can be deleted or left out.
Dino, our coach, is saying that we need to train every day. I'm glad that he is saying this.
Other conjunctions are and, or, but, yet, so, etc. Look at these sentences. Elsie and her brother are good swimmers. Do you want lemon or milk? She is a clever girl, but she is too shy.
Fill in the blanks, putting in the appropriate conjunction, adjective, or pronoun. Oh, sorry, I am so tired that I can't remember anything these days. I'm sure you bought them at that shop where I told you not to go.
It's your fault that she left you. You expected too much, and sometimes you are depressing too. I know him and his sister. The boy that I saw was Elsie's brother.
Revision.
Let's look at this. One, ones. When are these used instead of nouns?
They're used to avoid repeating nouns. For example, I have a yellow jacket and you have a blue one.
Why are you preaching at me? The girl I like the best is always the one who's preaching at me, the one who criticizes me so harshly.
Did you ever point out the difference between still and yet?
Affirmative. Still equals up to the present moment.
Let's start quickly. There are still so many important topics to discuss.
For questions, yet equals up to the present moment. For the negative, not yet.
Are you ready yet? No, not yet. Just a moment. She is still in bed because Aunt Charlotte has not arrived yet.
It is my turn. It is your turn. It is my fault. It is your fault, etc.
It's your fault that she has left. You expect too much, and sometimes you are depressing too.
Prepositional verbs. To argue with, to talk to preach at, or to preach to. Why are you preaching at me? The girl I like the best is the one who's always preaching at me.
Oh, Terry's the girl you were arguing with so furiously. Terry's the girl you were talking to last week. Coach trains a group of athletes. Trainer trains each single athlete.
Noun, training. Verb, to train.
Swimming, noun. Verb, to swim, swam, swum. Break, to take a break. Backstroke.
Backstroke for 20 laps. Come on. And then you can take a break. Freestyle or crawl. Flipper, bag, bathrobe, slippers, glasses.
British English, swimming costume.
American English, swimsuit. To lend, lent, lent. Could you lend me your stopwatch for a minute, please?
Gold, a golden ring. Silver, a silver bracelet. Brass, a brass lamp. Steel, a steel tool.
Do you think Dino is a good coach?
Why are you asking me this?
Well, I have some doubts about my teaching. I hope we are good trainers, that we are training well our athletes that are learning English, and that they will win the competition of life.
But this is philosophy. Too many metaphors. Our comparing teaching as a sport, training, is a clever comparison.
I, who am a teacher, absolutely need to know how my students are getting on with their English after 20 units.
I think that if you follow carefully and do all the exercises, they'll get on quite well.
Well, thank you, Aileen, for your valuable opinion.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Dear Elsie, Things happen when you least expect them. I think I'm really in love this time.
Well, Moira, you're getting prettier and prettier. Oh, you're here.
Just a moment. Can't you see him on the phone? Well, David, I'm so glad you've flown up to see me. I'll be here waiting for you. Yes, see you in a while. Bye.
Don't you remember tonight's birthday party?
No, I had forgotten.
Strange of you. You're always so punctual and you're always reminding other people of the things they forget. How can you have forgotten about it?
The truth is that, well, David has just phoned. He's at the airport. He's just arrived from Los Angeles and he's on his way over.
Oh, really? You mention him so seldom. What does he do?
He's a businessman. He has his own company in Los Angeles. I didn't have the chance to tell him about the party.
Why don't you invite him to come then?
Oh, he's older than we are. He doesn't like our parties. He's not interested in kid stuff, as he calls it. He's certainly not coming to the party.
Well, you never know. I'll call you later on. If he's left, I'll come and pick you up. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. You're going to miss a good party.
Well, I'm not going to miss anything. Don't you understand I'm interested in spending the evening with David? Not going to the party. Maybe we'll go to the movies, or well, who knows?
Well, are you about to get engaged or are you already engaged?
That's my business, not yours. And definitely, don't call me later on. I'm not going to that noisy birthday party.
Oh, you're changing. Violet is supposed to be a very good friend of yours. She's organized everything so well and she'll be disappointed.
She won't be disappointed. I know her. She'll understand me. I know she will.
Really? Why didn't you tell me then?
We're always in a hurry in the morning and you always come back late at night. I haven't had a chance to tell you.
Oh, I'll miss you a lot this evening. I wanted to show you something special.
What? Ah, he's here. You can tell me about it later.
Oh, you're changing. I think she's in love.
You were so sweet to come up from Los Angeles to see me.
I was dying to see you. Seeing you only on the weekends isn't enough.
Should I change? Are we going out?
David, are you coming to the party with us tonight?
What? You didn't tell me anything about a party.
Don't pay attention to him. He's only joking.
Well, I'm going to get ready to go to the party. This is your last chance. Are you coming with us, David?
Why don't you go to your silly party and leave us alone?
What was he talking about?
Oh, it was just nonsense.
You didn't mention anything to me about a party. Do you often go to parties with him? You told me that you always study and that you never go out when you're here in Berkeley.
That's true. Tonight was an exception. But don't worry about that silly party. I really didn't want to go. But it's my best friend's birthday.
Really? Would you prefer going with him? Tell me the truth. If you want, I can leave and not come back here anymore, if that's what you want.
Are you jealous?
No, sweetheart. I trust you. I know you don't flirt with anyone else. I know you well. At least I think I do.
Of course you do. Now what are we going to do tonight?
Well, we're going out for dinner. But first of all, there's something I want to tell you. I have to tell you something.
The house is all yours. The girls are out camping, and I'm not coming home until very late. Have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't want to argue with you because of Paul. Don't believe a single word of what he says. He's a lazy student. He prefers playing soccer and going out to studying.
Oh, really? Is that what he is?
Are we going to a restaurant or to the movies?
We're going to a restaurant, the best one in town. But first of all, please, let me tell you something.
You can tell me at the restaurant.
Well, okay. You're always right.
Well, Elsie, that evening, we swore to love each other forever. David is already talking about marriage. I wonder what my future will be like. Do you believe in everlasting love? Lots of love, Alice.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hi.
It's so nice to be here again with you.
It's nice to have you, Aileen. And with your kind help, we're going to progress quite quickly with our grammar.
I'm glad you think so. I hope our students think so too.
I'm sure they do. You know, we are progressing quite quickly with our grammar. let's talk some more about English verb tenses. The verb tenses are always intriguing, and there are several peculiarities in every language. We have already gone over many of them, but we still have to look at many others.
So what are we going to talk about?
By the way, have you noticed the construction of what? Look, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the future.
The future forms.
And there are several ways to put the sentences into the future. One is the present continuous. You remember, you know it already. Do you remember when you use it?
When the sentence indicates an arrangement already made.
Everything is settled, so we are leaving for London tomorrow.
I don't feel well, so I'm not going out today.
To is with going to plus infinitive.
Going to plus infinitive is used when one intends to do something, when something is likely to happen. I'm going to spend the evening at Violet's party. It's going to rain soon.
Another way to express the future is to be about to plus infinitive. To be about to plus infinitive expresses a very near future action.
It's about to rain.
Well, this was only revision, but there are other ways to express the future. A very important form is the will, shall future.
Future simple or will, shall future. Will, shall plus infinitive without to.
He will go to the party.
Here are all the will, shall forms.
Will, shall future. Affirmative form. Subject plus will, shall plus infinitive without to. To go. Will, shall future. Affirmative form. I will, shall go. You will go. He, she, it will go. Short affirmative form. I'll go, you'll go, he'll go, she'll go, it'll go. I will have coffee, please, or I'll have coffee, please. Negative form. I will, shall not go, you will not go, he, she, it will not go. Short negative form. I won't, shan't go. You won't go. He, she, it won't go. You will not go, or you won't go to the party tomorrow. Interrogative form. Will, shall I go? Will you go? Will he, she, it go?
Will they go to the cinema tomorrow?
Negative interrogative form. Will I not go? Shall I not go? Will you not go? Will he, she, it not go? Short negative interrogative form. Won't I go? Shan't I go? Won't you go? Won't he, she, it go?
Won't Aunt Charlotte go to the doctor's tomorrow?
Uses of the will future.
The will future is very often used to express a decision, a possibility, an offer.
I will have coffee, please, or I'll have coffee, please. I'll ring Janet tomorrow.
Maybe he'll come to the swimming pool tomorrow.
I think she'll be here on Tuesday. I'll get you a nice cup of coffee.
If you want to ring me, I'll give you my number.
Uses of shall.
So now, let's talk about shall.
Note that in very formal English, shall is used instead of will in the first person singular and plural of the affirmative and negative forms of the future.
Please note that I shall attend tomorrow's celebration.
And note also that the interrogative form for offers in the first person singular and plural is always with shall, not will. Shall I get you a nice cup of tea?
Shall I give you my number?
Shall we help you carry the bags? More about the use of the will future.
The will future is used to talk about future events that depend on outside circumstances, as in the case of the if clauses.
If she understands the situation, she won't be disappointed about your behavior.
But this is not an easy subject to talk about, and we're going to talk about it in a while. So first, do this exercise.
Fill in the blanks. Well, you'll never know. I'll call you later on. If he has left, I'll come and pick you up. Don't you think she'll be disappointed?
She won't be disappointed. She'll understand. I'm sure she won't be disappointed.
Subordinate clauses.
Do you know what happens when the main clause is in the will future and there is a subordinate clause?
I was going to talk about this. Note that in English, the subordinate clause can never take the will future.
But can you explain what a subordinate clause is?
Of course. I'm eager to explain it to our students. The subordinate clause is a phrase introduced by if, when, as soon as, till, until, as long as, before, unless, etc. Note in the subordinate clause, the present, simple, or the past are used.
If David comes, I won't go to the party.
When Moira comes home, we'll go to the cinema.
Unless you study, you won't pass your exams. I'll ring you before I go out. I'll tell you as soon as possible.
In a sentence, it's possible to have two or more main clauses. They all take the will future, while the subordinate, of course, cannot. Subordinate, when you lend me the book. Main clauses, I'll read it quickly and I'll give it back to you. Complete these sentences using the appropriate tenses.
As soon as David comes, I'll get ready to go out. He won't be here when Paul comes back. I'll be grateful to you if you don't tell David about the party. Before Moira comes back, we will have gone out. If you're clever, you'll soon get your diploma.
Have we finished talking about the future? Can we get back to the present?
No, just a moment. There is still plenty more to say about the future tenses.
Future continuous or future progressive.
There is also the future continuous or future progressive, and it's very easy to form. It is formed with will plus be plus verb in the ing form.
I'll be watching television the whole evening with David.
I'll be spending the whole night at Moira's party. Offers and requests.
Offers and requests are expressed as follows. For offers, shall is used in the first person singular or plural only. Shall I? Shall we?
Shall I do this for you?
For request, will is used for request. Will you do this for me?
Will you do this for me?
Fill in the blanks.
Shall I change? Will you be so kind to leave me alone and go to the party without me? Shall we invite David too?
Things are getting quite difficult now because there's also a future perfect.
Future perfect.
There is, of course, a future perfect, and it is formed with will or shall plus have plus past participle.
By the next weekend, we will have finished cutting the logs. By next summer, Elsie will have finished high school.
We can talk about this later on.
Yes. Did we talk about the future in the past?
It's not a simple concept.
No, it's not. Let's try to explain it to you.
Future in the past. The future in the past expresses something which has to happen in the future while we are talking about the past. The verb forms used are in the past tenses, of course. Last night, when David came in, I was going to leave in a short time to go to the party. I was going to the cinema, but then I decided to go to the pub instead.
Yes, I was going to the cinema. Here, I am talking about something in the past that's going to happen in the future. But then, I decided to go to the pub. Does it seem simpler now?
Try to think about this form and how it's used. It's not so difficult. Do you remember everything about comparatives and superlatives? Look at these forms.
Things happen when you least expect them.
Is it a comparative or a superlative? From which adjective does it come? Little, less, the least.
Now, notice this sentence. Well, Moira, you are getting prettier and prettier.
And what does this mean? It means that every day you look prettier than the day before.
And if you say, Moira, you never stop becoming more intelligent, do you like this sentence? What would you say instead? You could say,
Moira, you are becoming more and more intelligent. Ing form.
We've talked about the ing form several times before. It can be used as a noun, a verb, and an adjective.
As a noun, jogging is one of my favorite activities. As a verb, playing tennis is fun. As an adjective, everlasting love.
Note also that the ing form can be the subject or object of a sentence.
Seeing you only on the weekends isn't enough.
Some more about the ing form. One verb that follows another can be either in the infinitive or in the ing form.
I like to go to parties.
I like going to parties.
Would you prefer to go?
Would you prefer going with him?
And now for something particular.
I enjoy to go to parties. Wrong. I enjoy going to parties. Right.
In fact, some verbs take only the ing form. The most important are
Verbs that want the ing form after them.
I always avoid crossing the road here. I had considered seeing him tomorrow, but I think this won't be possible. They enjoy playing cards.
I don't feel like studying today.
He missed talking to her.
I don't mind going there if you want me to. And also, to put off, plus ing. To risk plus ing. To understand plus ing.
And now something different about this ing form. Look at this verb.
To stand, stood, stood. To stand plus verb in the ing form. They stood there waiting for him for hours.
Stand here near me.
They are standing by the window. I, you, etc. can't stand something. Or, I, you, etc. can't stand verb in the ing form. I, you, etc. couldn't stand something. Or, I, you could not stand plus verb in the ing form.
I can't stand prejudiced people. He can't stand a big crowd. They can't stand waiting for him for hours.
To be interested in plus verb in the ing form refers to what will happen. To be interested in something.
They are interested in arts. Don't you understand? I am interested in spending the evening with David.
Revision.
Please remind me to remind you to, but I can't remember. Was it? That's it. Okay, remember and remind. Remember means to come to one's mind. Remind means to help someone to remember.
Don't you remember tonight's birthday party? Strange of you. You're always so punctual and you're always reminding other people of the things they forget. How can you have forgotten about it?
Some more information about the verb to
The verb to be is always surprising. Note, to be on the phone, to be supposed to.
Oh, you're here.
Just a moment. Can't you see him on the phone?
Oh, you're changing. Violet is supposed to be a very good friend of yours. She's organized everything so well, and she'll be disappointed.
be. birthday cake, nonsense, equals stupid things.
To pick up, pick up, pick up. I'll come and pick you up. He picks her up every night.
To spend, spent, spent. To spend money. To spend the time.
Don't you understand? I'm interested in spending the evening with David.
To disappoint. She is never punctual, and she always disappoints me. Don't you think she'll be disappointed? To change. But you're changing. She changes her dress every day. To fly, flew, flown. Airplanes fly, and birds too. To fly up, flew up, flown up.
You were so sweet to fly up from Los Angeles to see me.
To pay attention to someone.
Don't pay any attention to him. He's only joking.
Pay attention to these two verbs. They're quite similar in spelling, but very different in meaning. To leave, left, left. To live, lived, lived.
Why don't you go to your silly party and please leave us alone?
The train left for London at 9:32.
Elsie lives in Pommet and Alice lives in Berkeley.
Well, that's all for now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Choose this.
It isn't mine. Where did you find it?
But who's with you? And what's this strange smell? It doesn't smell like your usual cigarettes.
Well, who am I with? Can't you see I'm with Henry? Well, we're smoking. We're smoking a new kind of cigarette.
Well, this really has a very strange smell. This is marijuana. This is a drug. Where did you get it? I'll have you arrested for drug abuse. It's against the law. So you do these things when Mom isn't at home. Who gave it to you? And when did you get it?
Well, a guy from another class. But I'm not going to tell you who he is, because if I do, you'll tell Mom.
You have to tell me who it was. You know I'm in the drug abuse prevention group at school.
It's none of your business. Who are you planning to tell?
I'm the eldest here, and when Mom isn't at home, I'm responsible for you and the little baby. How many times have you done this?
Oh, thanks a lot. Who are you going to tell? Are we going to be punished? This is the first time we've done it.
But which guy at school gave it to you? Don't worry, I'm not a spy. Nothing will happen to you or to the guy who gave it to you. I just want to know his name, which class he's in. We probably know him. Was it Sower?
Sower? Who's he? I don't know him.
Oh yes, it was Sower, who was with you yesterday when I met you outside the school. Yes, oh yes, it was Sower. It was him. Who do you go around with? Don't go around with him anymore. Tell him that you don't want this stuff. Promise me.
Okay, and what about Henry?
And the same goes for you. Promise me.
Okay, we promise.
Cross your heart.
Of course we promise. You know that I keep my promises. But whose shoe is that?
It's a good thing that this shoe ended up in my room, because now I've found out about... But what size is it? 42? Oh, it's Dad's.
What do you do in your anti-drug group?
Well, we discuss the problem and we think about what can be done to solve it. We know about this Sawyer guy. He has already been warned.
Which of your friends belong to the group? Are any of my friends in the group?
Mary, Susan, and Steve are in it. Some of your friends are in the group too. There's a cute girl from your class called Maureen.
And if we join the group?
Oh, that's a good idea. Alice, I was really shocked. Well, smoking grass could be the first step in the way to cocaine or heroin. You surely know that. I'm glad now that Henry and my brother have joined the group. Your friend, Elsie.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Today's main topic is interrogative pronouns.
Interrogative pronouns. Who, whom, whose, what, which. Who, function, subject. Who is Elsie? Whom or who? Function, object of a verb or a preposition. In conversational English, who as object is preferred to whom.
Who are you with?
Remember, the preposition accompanying the object pronoun who, whom, is placed at the end of the clause.
Who are you talking to?
Whose. Function, possessive, used as pronoun and adjective.
Whose shoe is this?
What. What thing, what person. Used to ask questions about people and things.
What things do you like best?
Which. Used instead of what when the choice is limited.
Which of these guys is sour?
Remember, interrogative pronouns can never be left out. For example, who is that boy? Whose book is this? What are you doing?
Whom are you with?
Now it's up to you to explain what's coming next.
Well, I'm really happy to. What follows is quite important. Be attentive. Please note.
Who, which, what, how much, and how many, when they are subjects, don't take the auxiliaries do, does, did in affirmative sentences, but who, which, what, how much, and how many take do, does, did when the sentence is negative or when they function as objects.
Who is this girl? What does she like? And here what functions as an object. What do you want?
Both from the short film and the explanations and examples, you have certainly understood the main grammar topic of this unit. I don't want to give you the usual exercises. I want you to be more creative.
Or rather, we should be more creative.
You're right. This time, we'll give you the reply and you ask the question. Let's look at an example. If I give you this answer...
This shoe isn't mine.
Look at this example. This shoe isn't mine. I know you can guess what the question would be, can't you? Whose shoe is this? Pretty good, huh?
Is that all your creativity?
Well, for the time being it's like this, but in the future...
For the time being it's like this, But I'll think of something nice by the end of the unit.
That's a good idea. I have already prepared something different from our regular, blah, blah exercises for the future units. We'll see what it is after we've discussed today's topic.
Make questions for the answers given.
I found it in my room.
Where did you find it? Don't you see who is with me?
But who is with you?
It's just the smell of a cigarette.
What's that strange smell?
Can't you see I am with Henry?
Who are you with?
Somebody gave it to me, and I got it yesterday.
Who gave it to you? And when did you get it? I'm not going to tell anybody.
Who are you going to tell? No guy at school gave it to me.
But which guy at school gave it to you?
I don't know which class he is in.
Which class is he in?
I don't know this sewer.
Who is this sewer?
Now, a slightly different exercise again on interrogative pronouns.
I'm sure there are blanks to fill in.
Yeah, why not? Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks.
Who were you with yesterday when I met you outside the school? Who do you go around with at school?
And what about Henry?
What size is it?
What do you do in your drug abuse prevention group?
We have discussed the use of how several times, but let's have a revision now to see if we left anything out.
How?
Okay, there are a few more things to say.
Yes, that's right. Look at this. How much is used with singular and countable nouns, whereas how many is used with plural nouns. Now a question for you. When do how much and how many refuse the auxiliary to do?
The answer should be when the subject is positive and how much and how many are the subjects.
How many people go to St. Peter's Church monthly?
How much money do you spend every day?
How much wine has fallen on the floor?
Now a short revision of the many expressions used with how. How are you, Aileen?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. How are you, students? I hope you are well. You know, we have taught this expression to our students since the very beginning of this course.
Oh yes, I've seen from your notes that you've already taught this expression with how. But there are a lot more expressions with how. Let's look at them.
Okay.
How long? How long is this wall? How wide? How wide is this room? How old? How old is Elsie? How far? How far is the train station from here?